Thanks for joining us for another Tech Talk. I'm Ken Lamneck, President and CEO of Insight, and I'm really pleased to have it to be Greg Ernst. Greg is the Vice President and General Manager for Intel for U.S. Sales and Marketing. So, Greg, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you, Ken. Good afternoon, and hi to all of our watchers and listeners.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good conversation. So, Greg, we've been in this sort of crazy environment now for 6 months, and it really has become our sort of normal situation. And, lots of fatigue out there, lots of monotony for all of us, and of course, all of our teammates. So love to get your perspective on what you're doing at Intel to try to stave off that monotony and fatigue that certainly you and your teammates are going through.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm happy to share, and we're learning together. I had my leadership team together. It was a couple weeks ago, and really just told them that as leaders, I'm counting on them. The job is so much different than what they signed up to do. When at Intel, when we empowered them to manage people or be a second level manager or lead an organization, none of us could have prepared for this. And so we're really relying on our leaders. They're the ones who need a sustained dialogue with their people. And I would say at Intel, we're doing a few things. Increased communications, and that's from our CEO, Bob Swan, to me. I've implemented a monthly all hands, and each one of my staff members, then they do a monthly all hands as well, and we shift them 2 weeks. Got way more into the personal, the real in our conversations, not just business updates. So increased comms, number one. Number two, been really, really proud of some of the benefits that we've rolled out. Our HR team, led by Sandra Rivera, have been amazing. And so we've rolled out a lot of benefits to really help the employees manage the surge of unexpected family obligations that they couldn't have planned for. We're offsetting some of the costs for daycare. We are increasing the spend on technology into their homes. Again, all just to help make their lives at home a little bit easier. And then the third thing too is we as leaders, but all of us, we really try to connect at a personal level with our people. My last 2 all hands ago, the theme was fighting the funk, which is perfect. It's just like another way of saying fighting the fatigue. And I opened up by really sharing with the team what I was feeling. I shared with the team that it's highly unusual for me to have days where I didn't just want to jump out of bed, where I wasn't self-motivated, where I wasn't at my best. But that's what I've been feeling occasionally. There's been days like that the last 6 months. So first of all, I just told the team it's okay. We're all going through that. And then the second thing that my leadership team and we shared what are the things about our job and the moments in our job where we feel like our old selves, where we just get that natural adrenaline rush. And whether it's winning a large opportunity with a customer, whether it's solving a customer's problem, whether it's a brilliant marketing idea, what are those things that get us pumped up where we feel like our old self? And then we as an organization, we had a conversation of how do we organically create more of those moments so that the adrenaline rush that we all get working together still happens, even if we're not in the same building, we're not in the same conference room, we're not at a restaurant with the customers. So those are just 3 of the things that we've done. And we're learning.
Yeah, certainly good practices, Greg. And I think, one of the challenges, of course, that you touched on, we see is that, just that fatigue and the monotony, that the challenge is that it's hard to sort of rejuvenate yourself because the weekends aren't that much different than during the week. As far as, you can't go out shopping, you can't go out to good restaurants or any of those type of things like you did before. So it's a little bit of just, every day's the same, including your weekends. So it is difficult. But I will say, it's pretty amazing, though. Back in February, we were chatting, we said, hey, pretty much the world's going to be working from home, for the next 6 months. We would have thought it would have been chaos. And it's actually really proven just how resilient people are and how adaptive organizations are. And of course, we're so fortunate because we're in technology, and technology is a huge part of the solution for this pandemic and how people can really effectively work virtually. So when you look at what we're seeing from a technology point of view, what are the big winners in this sort of pandemic sort of area from a technology point of view? So first off, we're seeing huge adaptation of the cloud. The cloud continues to grow very fast. 45% rates year over year, substantial. And of course, with Intel, we're seeing obviously continued migrations towards notebooks and higher powered notebooks that give them, like you said, all the capabilities they need to work virtually from home. So that's certainly been a big winner in the environment. Security, of course, is a big issue, for clients. And then, of course, clients are looking at everything being digital going forward. And, that sort of touches on the whole aspect of, IoT and many other aspects of that. So love to get your perspective on technology and innovation and how people are, adapting through the innovation cycles here during the pandemic. So what's your perspective? What's Intel's perspective there?
Yeah, it's so we're like you said, Ken, we're the role that we have delivering technology to the U.S., to the world, is something the employees of Insight hold very dear. The employees at Intel definitely hold very, very dear. Our purpose as a company, and this was written well before COVID, is to create world-changing technologies that enrich human lives. And as you said, it's really come alive tenfold in the last 6 months. And it spans everything from helping students learn from home, helping teachers teach remotely, as you mentioned, transitioning millions of Americans to working from home. It touches everything. Now, for us, what's been intriguing is, and I look at the projects in kind of three categories. One is companies that they had to adapt in order to stay in business because their business model had gotten so disrupted, and they're driving a lot of innovative projects with us. The second category is companies like Insight, like Intel, revenue stream largely intact, but they're preparing themselves for exiting COVID. And what does that look like? And there's quite a lot of digital transformation projects that are sustained and are continuing. So, like, for instance, Ken, in your earnings, you talked about the virtual chat feature on your website, up 500% year over year, where you're delivering a better customer experience. So we see a lot of projects like that where they're just continuing. Leaders, CEOs are making the decision post-COVID, business will largely be intact. It'll look very, very different. So what projects do you want to put in place to deliver world-class customer experience? And so many of those, almost all of them, involve technology. Technology that Insight sells, the technology that Intel builds, and that we go to market together. And then the third piece, I would say, is really what does the new norm look like for the employee base, and what is the working experience of that the employees will have again coming out of. We talked to customers in a previous example. The next is employees. And again, that's a lot of remote learning. That's a lot of software. You mentioned earlier security and how in maintaining security in a remote workforce environment. We're seeing that security appliances, security services continue to ramp. So 3 categories of projects that still are continuing, very different than what we thought they were. But good momentum across all 3, and ability, again, that Intel and Insight has to offer technology to help enrich the human lives, whether it's their customers or their employees.
Yeah, certainly huge opportunities still there. And one of the areas, of course, Greg, you and I are very bullish on, and have been for quite some time, is IoT and the intelligent edge. What's the latest in regards to investments that Intel's making in those areas?
For me, as a company, we continue to invest. For me, in 2020, it was the single biggest increase in investment, and we're seeing it play out again, even with the pandemic, where companies are continuing to move forward, automating their infrastructure, adding the capabilities of compute into their offices, their buildings, their factories, the streets of the cities that we live on. And so we've been lucky. I know this is a public group, but we've been very fortunate and excited to see actually the number of end user opportunities, whether it's government agencies or businesses or cities, has actually doubled in 2020 compared to 2019. And so the momentum is real. The use cases are varied. And again, Ken, as you said, Insight, we're doing it together. So thank you for the partnership in this space, Ken.
Oh, great to see, and we're certainly glad to be part of it. And we see a very bright future there at the edge for sure. So, Greg, when we sort of wrap up here, what sort of advice do you give to business leaders during this time? What's your sort of key sort of things that they should really be focused on?
Talked earlier, take care of our people. You got to have a motivated workforce to do brilliant things as a company. So take care of the people. Number two, I'd say just recognize, at least if you're in the technology sector, you play a critical role of helping the world solve COVID, but also helping people retain some semblance of normal life. And Ken, that's what you mentioned earlier of just as much as everything's changed, it's just incredible how there is still some semblance of normalcy. That's all around. And then the third piece I'd say is don't be afraid to make bold shifts. And we're seeing that in our own business. In aggregate, the revenue that we've now guided for 2020 is pretty close to what we thought it'd be at the start of the year. But within that, there's certain businesses that are up 2x compared to what we expected. And there's other businesses that are down noticeably. And what we've been doing at Intel is shifting the people, the resources, the innovation to the markets where the demand remains strong. So you got to make those bold shifts. And again, it's not easy because a lot of times that's moving people from one organization to another. And there's just built-in inertia, especially in big companies. But you got to be willing to do it. We all need to be willing to do it. So those are three things that I'd recommend.
Yeah, very good perspective. And Greg, thanks so much for sharing all that with us. And more importantly, thanks for being such a great partner. We really value what Intel is helping drive us to really grow our business collectively. So I really appreciate that. And again, thanks to the audience for watching and listening to some of the great perspectives you got from Greg. And if you want to learn more about these type of things and what the future of tech really looks like, of course, feel free to subscribe to our digital magazine called the Tech Journal. And you can find that at insight.com/Tech Journal. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Ken.